Geno King Boxing back in the building, back with some more boxing news. And man, we all been waiting for the return of Errol Spence. And it looks like it's going down March 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada. Errol Spence versus Sebastian Fandora. Yes, this is what we all been waiting for, man. Can't wait to see Errol back in the ring and to see how he looks. Also, we got Frank Martin against Edwin De Los Santos, possibly up under the undercard. That's going to be an exciting fight also. Let's get into it though, man. Errol Spence, this is going to be his return fight ever since the Bud Crawford fight, July 29th, 2023. Huge fight that was. We hadn't seen Errol since. We all know the results of that fight, man. And Errol Spence fans, man, been waiting to see what's next for Errol, man. You know, even though I was going for Crawford during the fight, man, I'm a huge Errol Spence fan also. I definitely going with Errol, you know what I'm saying? In this fight versus Fandora, I'm rooting for Errol to make a hell of a comeback. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I think Errol is still one of the top guys in boxing right now. In that 147, 154 pound range, I think Errol is still one of those guys. He just needs to knock the rust off, get back in the ring, man, and show the world why he was one of the champions, one of the most talked about champions the last 5 to 6 years in boxing. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I can't wait to see Errol back up in there, man. You know, so that's great news. How is Errol gonna be able to deal with the length and the height of a guy like Sebastian Fandora? That's gonna be interesting. Gonna be very interesting to see how Errol deals with that. If I know Errol, like we know Errol gonna step to him and break him down. You know what I'm saying? Errol gonna step to him and break him down, man. You know, we've been seeing Errol flashes of him with new coach. Hopefully the new coach can show him a few tricks, get Errol back at that top level, man. Get him consistently fighting again, man. Maybe a couple times a year. You know, Frank Martin's supposed to fight in the undercard. From what I've been hearing, Frank Martin is not working with Derrick James anymore. That's going to be interesting to see. You know, how is Frank Martin going to fare in his first fight without Derrick James? And he's going up against Edwin De Los Santos. Edwin De Los Santos, as we all know, gave Shakur Stevenson problems here last year. Gave him problems. Hit Shakur Stevenson a couple times, and I guess Shakur was scared to open up against Edwin De Los Santos. But Frank Martin, let's see what Frank Martin does. I think Frank Martin has enough grit and enough skill set to possibly beat Edwin De Los Santos. But whoever wins that fight, I think they should prepare for a showdown with Shakur Stevenson. Frank Martin can beat Edwin De Los Santos. I think Shakur Stevenson should be next on the list of Frank Martin, and both of those guys can go at it, and Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis can brag about who fought Frank Martin better. You know what I'm saying? And maybe those guys can start negotiating after a possible Shakur Stevenson fight. You know, but if Edwin De Los Santos beats Frank Martin, Shakur Stevenson needs to run that second fight back. He needs to get that get back, man. Show the world, man, that the first fight was a fluke. Even though Shakur Stevenson won the fight, a lot of people didn't think so. A lot of people thought he was fighting scared. You know, so let's see Shakur Stevenson back in the ring against Edwin De Los Santos in the second fight. That's if Edwin beats Frank Martin. You know, I got Frank Martin, honestly, in that fight. I got Frank Martin. Frank Martin, as we all know, he lost to Gervonta Tank Davis earlier this year. You know, ain't too many people finna beat Gervonta right now. So You know, that's just like the Crawford fight with Spence. Ain't too many people finna beat Crawford. So if you lose to the best, the pound for pound best, you know, it's no issue, man. You went in there, you lost against a pound for pound great. So that's what I would say to Frank Martin and Errol Spence. But it's gonna be hella dope to see both of these guys back in the ring again and doing their thing, man. I said Errol Spence, man. You know, people been waiting. In March 29th, that'll be almost 2 years. Be almost 2 years since that fight. But, you know, man, I just can't wait. It'll be springtime. You know, it'll be dope if they had the fight in Dallas, Texas. Errol Spence comeback fight in Dallas, Texas. Man, that'll be off the chain. But that right there is possibly going to be a Las Vegas fight. You know, Vegas want to keep that money in-house. You know, especially huge fight like that. Huge Errol Spence comeback fight like that. So, and then let's see if Errol Spence gets past Sebastian Fandora. Let's see what he does. What's on his plate next after that. Let's see if he can go up against a guy like Israel Madrimov. Or him and Jermell Charlo, they're not going to fight. They're friends. I can see both of those guys fighting, but I think that would be a great matchup. Errol Spence versus Jermell Charlo in that 154-pound division. You know, as far as the rematch with Terrence Crawford, we would all love to see that again, the rematch with Bud Crawford. But I think right now, Spence needs to stay away from Crawford. And Crawford right now, he's shooting for the Canelo fight. And I think that fight is going to come to fruition here in May. I think these guys are going to fight in May for some reason. May or September, possibly. So I think that will disqualify a possible Errol Spence, Bud Crawford rematch. I don't think that's going to happen no time soon. So, yeah, so like I said, great news. Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence versus Sebastian Fandora going down March 29th, man. You know, I got to ride with the hometown guy, though, man. I got to ride with Errol Spence, Dallas, Texas native. Yeah, we in D-Town, Dallas, Texas. I got to ride with my guy, Errol, man. Like I said, Errol still one of those top guys in boxing right now. You know, so don't get it twisted. You know, so Errol is great at what he does. He steps to you and bangs you out. That's what he does. That's what, you know, appealed to a lot of his fans. You know, he brought the fight to you. Great inside fighter. You know, Errol is a great inside fighter. Tough, gritty. And yeah, let's see that. Let's see that, man. But yeah, I got Errol Spence beating Sebastian Fandora. Unanimous decision. Let's do this thing, man. This is Gino King Boxing. Y'all press that subscribe button, press that like button, and I'm out.